Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Fright Friday right here on Night Owl Video. Today I am doing a short review on the film Heart Eyes, which came out this year back on Valentine's Day, February 14th. So yeah, we'll be talking about cast, production, critical response, my thoughts on the film, and more. So I hope you will stick around as we review Heart Eyes. Yeah. I got my notes. So Heart Eyes is a Valentine's slasher romance thriller from 2025. This film was directed by Josh Ruben. A few other movies that he's made I've not heard of, including Scare Me and Werewolves Within. I don't know those movies at all. This film stars Olivia Holt, who was in a film called Totally Killer, which I watched on Amazon Prime, I think this year or last year. Wasn't a big fan. I like the premise of the movie, the story, but the idea, but just the execution was a little wonky. This also stars Mason Gooding, who was in Scream from 2022, as well as Scream 6, and he's apparently going to be in the upcoming Scream 7. Yeah. Apparently they're not done with that franchise. It also stars Gigi Zumbato, Michaela Watkins, and Devon Sawa, who was in Idle Hands as well as Final Destination, among many others. The synopsis for Heart Eyes is: a masked maniac with glowing red eyes returns every Valentine's Day to slaughter unsuspecting couples. When a cynical ad executive and her hopelessly romantic colleague become the next target, they decide to fight back and end the reign of terror. So Heart Eyes, like I said, is a sort of a mix of a slasher and a romantic film, rom-com, although it's not really funny. It has a few funny bits in it. The film Heart Eyes had a budget of $18 million, and it made $32.9 million at the box office. I don't think this movie proved to be as popular as they thought it might be, and I think something else came out that week that may have caused them some distress as far as box office goals, but filming of Heart Eyes took place in New Zealand in June of 2024, almost a year ago. The film underperformed with couples, with only 40% of opening weekend attendees going with a spouse or date. And this was on par with the previous weekend's big sort of horror thriller Companion. That was the film I was trying to think of. It didn't come out at the same time, but it came out the weekend before. So these both didn't perform, I guess, as well as they had hoped, the studios had hoped. The mask in the film was designed by a person named Tony Gardner, who also made masks for the films Freaky, Happy Death Day, and the aforementioned Totally Killer. Now, I did watch this all the way through the credits, and there is a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene, which almost implies there could be a sequel. It's kind of one of those post-credit sequels or scenes, I should say, where it's like there might be a sequel if this is successful, and if it's not successful, here's just like a little teaser thing at the end. But the critical response for Heart Eyes was is that it currently has an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. The film got generally good reviews. A lot of the reviews that I read said that it was a great combination of a sort of romantic film mixed with a slasher. My thoughts on Heart Eyes: I was pleasantly surprised by this movie, especially after a few people that I not necessarily trust, but people I know had just said like, oh, don't, just avoid that one, don't bother. And so for a long time, I just didn't bother with it. And then I watched a review, I can't remember the channel, but somebody I trust who's into horror movies had said, no, it's actually good. So I decided to pick it up, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the love story in it was kind of sweet between the two main characters. It's a sort of a love story of two people that were kind of at odds, and they sort of end up becoming enamored with each other. And so there's that kind of funny play at stake where, I don't want to give away too much, but just two people that it wasn't going to go beyond just like a challenging sort of working relationship at work, but then it evolved into something slightly by accident, if I can say that. But yeah, the love story was really sweet and really tender. It kind of made me feel the same way when I think the movie, I was trying to remember, I think it's called No Hard Feelings, which was Jennifer Lawrence. I think that's what it was called. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. It was a romantic comedy that came out last year about some parents who were trying to get their son to like experience some life and like date and stuff before he went off to college. And I think they hired Jennifer Lawrence to like get him out, try to get him out of his shell or whatever. And that was a movie where I thought it was just because the trailer made it look like it was going to seem really like gratuitous and kind of raunchy, but then it turned out to be like this really sweet kind of tender movie with like a really lovely kind of love story in it. And I fell in love with that movie. And when I was watching this, it kind of gave me those vibes in the sense that I went into it expecting it to maybe be not that great, but, passable. And then I was like kind of quite taken with it, like just how cute it was. Obviously the kills in it some of them are pretty grisly, and it is a horror sort of slasher movie, but it did have this very sweet, sub-story going on, concurrent with the horror story. So excellent. I gotta say, I'm not a big cinematography geek. Like I know great looking films like Kubrick or Spielberg or, these big ones, but I don't tend to be like watching for great cinematography. This movie though, when I was watching it, the cinematography, the camera work, the angles, the wide shots, the choice of color, the kind of set, the blocking, the composition of the scene, I thought it was really good. Like I actually really noticed it, especially going into this thinking it was going to be it is kind of like a lower budget, lower tier kind of horror slasher comedy or romantic movie. But honest to God, like when I was watching this, I thought that is an excellent shot. So if you're kind of geeky about that stuff, you might like it from this aspect, the technical aspect, because I thought it actually looked really good. And the lighting, I'll say like it was it was like a great mix of like that 80s slasher feel. The mask was quite creepy. It had like these little heart-shaped eyes that glowed in the dark, and just there was some scenes of him just like, again, like middle of the shot, all dark behind him, just those glowing eyes. It looked so good. I don't know if he'll catch on like, say, Ghostface Killer or, Jason Voorhees or anything like that, or even Terrifier, Art the Clown, but or even maybe on par with like Eli Roth's Thanksgiving with the mask there. It kind of gave me those vibes. So it's like it could easily be part of that new school if you say like Art the Clown and the Thanksgiving Killer. I forget what his name is, and then like this particular character. I thought it was really, really good. The plot kept moving through the whole thing. There wasn't really no stalling. Even when it was the kind of more romantic part of the movie, the script, the story just kept moving. It didn't stall out when it got to those kind of like softer parts of the movie. Overall, just great. I do hope they make a sequel. I could definitely see this character going on and doing some more business with his mask on. For the gore hounds, most of the kills were pretty tame, but there were a couple that were really good. There's one in particular that was quite gory at a drive-in. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So if you like that kind of thing, you'll probably dig Heart Eyes. You can't really see with the glare. Sorry about that. I wonder if I took slip the thing out of the case. Maybe you can see it a bit better. So his mask kind of looks like that. Pretty cool. In French, this is Yeux en coeur, which is, yeah, eyes of heart, or heart eyes, I guess. Yeah, there's some good stuff in there. If you're, if you're a sucker for like 80s slashers, 90s slashers for that matter, you could easily see, like, now we've got the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake, requel, whatever it is, coming out in the summer. So we're definitely starting to get some pretty cool, like, horror movies, slashers. The special features on this DVD are Murders and Meet Cutes, the making of Heart Eyes. There's a filmmaker's commentary. This is rated 18 in Canada for extreme violence, gory scenes, coarse language, violence. So yeah. This is a Region 1 DVD. I don't see the runtime. Oh, runtime is 97 minutes, so, not too bad. Like I said, it moves on. It moves along pretty quickly. So if you're looking for just like you want to watch a newer horror movie, you're not necessarily looking for anything too elevated or cerebral. You just want a good hack and slash. I would recommend Heart Eyes. I would give this probably a 4 out of 5. I will definitely rewatch this. Much like Thanksgiving, when Thanksgiving rolls around, I will rewatch that. I'll probably pop this on at Valentine's Day. I'm not the biggest fan of My Bloody Valentine. I know that's probably sacrilege to some of you horror nerds, but I just never was really into that movie. I haven't seen the remake in a long time, so maybe I should revisit that one. The original, I get why it gets the attention it does, but and that's extra sacrilege because it was filmed in Nova Scotia, where I live. But for me, I don't know. I own the movie. I've watched it a couple times. Not a big deal for me. Honestly, probably watch this one first. I know. Leave it in the comments. I don't want to just calm down. Everybody's got an opinion, right? But anyway, that's my thoughts on Heart Eyes. Did you see this movie? What did you think of Heart Eyes? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was silly or overrated? Or maybe you thought it was excellent? Maybe you thought it was even better than what I thought. Leave your comments down below. Consider giving me the thumbs up if you like this review. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Blue Sky at Night Owl Video. Though, much like my Instagram account, I do not get around to posting a lot. And with everything that's going on in the world and the AI and all that, I'm just, you know what? I hardly look at my phone or my laptop anymore. So, but if you want to, I think I'm up to about 20 followers over there. So thank you to everybody who subscribed over on Blue Sky. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Thank you for your continued viewership and your support. Take good care of yourselves and your friends and your family and your community. And until next time, I will see you at the video store or the thrift store or just out and about somewhere, hopefully not being chased by the Heart Eyes killer. But until next time, take good care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.